What's poppin' YouTube? Back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video. I'm never gonna edit, so that's not coming out. But what I have to say today is I've been playing a lot of Duel Links. I don't know if you guys have noticed on the channel, but I decided I really wanted to take a look at a Duel Links deck that also translates pretty well to the Yu-Gi-Oh TCG as well. And that deck is Noble Knights. I think it's a pretty sick deck, especially in Duel Links, but it's got its cool, nice 2 and 3 card combos, even in the TCG. I'm going to show you guys a really stock list today. Of course, if you want to play more meta, more tournament and competitive version, there are a couple of cards you would drop into the main deck. Of course, you go to side deck and all that stuff. But first, I'm not going to keep you guys waiting. I'm going to bring it to the combos first. First combo I have to show you guys. Let me move my face here. Oops. First combo I have to show you guys is a 3-card combo involving any one of Merlin, Heritage, or Madrid itself. So let's go ahead and get into it. It's going to be Merlin. Merlin effect is going to go ahead and get us a Madrid. Let me hit fast forward. That's taking a lot longer than I thought. Madrid is going to equip the Gallatin. It's any equip spell, doesn't matter which one. This combo requires a Madrid and 2 equip spells. Now we're going to get the Iwane. Iwane effect is going to give us a token. We're going to use those tokens and the Iwane for an Assault. Assault is going to get us an Ektar and then mill 4 for to summon a Board. Board is going to use the second equipped to reveal 2 until Noble Arms are needed once again. And it's going to make a Sacred King afterwards using the ability in the graveyard. And then your in board looks like this. Your in board, you end on an Assault, a king that can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects or battled once per turn, a Gallatin for an extra 500 attack point boost, putting it at 27, and hopefully you didn't draw the Noble Queen Guinevere. Hopefully you drew it until Noble Arms needed once again. Now you can go through the top 3 cards of your deck to try to pull out another card for you later. You also have one of the Trap in the Graveyard, which I'll explain what this does once we get to deck 5. The next combo is a 2-card combo with either Madrid, Heritage, which is essentially a Rhoda, and any equipped. So let's get into this one. This one's a little bit simpler. Go ahead and get on Madrid. Madrid equipped Destiny, make it level 5. Get the Iwane. Iwane is the bread and butter of this deck. It's in the TCG at least. In Duel Links, it's not used too much. Assault is going to get us Ektar once again. No 4. This time we're going to go for Brothers. Brothers is going to put back 3. Hopefully the ones you don't need. And then you're going to draw a card. It could be anything. And then we're going to make a regular king, not a Sacred King. And we're going to do the same 3 equips to it. Same thing. An extra 500, making it 2,500 instead of 27. Non-targeting. And cannot be destroyed by battling card effects once per turn. Pretty sick. Of course, there's other combos. There's combos involving Brothers plus another and an equipped, or Brothers plus 2 and an equipped, or 2 equips. But those combos are a little more advanced, and I just want to show you guys some of the cool applications that this deck has in the actual TCG itself. Let's go ahead and get into the deck profile. So here is the deck. Very stock list. I might need to move my face, huh? Go ahead and move me. There we go. Let's move me. I'm in the way, right? So, oh, I wasn't in the way at all. Tight. So, if you've played this deck in Duel Links, or if you've played this deck in the TCG, you kind of know what a lot of the cards do. It is an older deck. But in the TCG, we have cool cards like Custonin that we don't have in the OCG. I mean, that we don't have in Duel Links, and we have Morgan, Enchantress Avalon, and we don't have in Duel Links. If we have this card in Duel Links, this would be the best deck in the game, free. So, I'll just go through a card by card really fast. We have 1 Guinevere, Queen of the Noble Arms. This is one of the Noble Arms cards. We have 3 Merlin. It's essentially just a Lone Fire Blossom. You can send it to the graveyard to tribute it to special any Noble Knight monster from your deck. I believe it has to be level 4 or lower. I'm not entirely sure. No, any Noble Knight monster from your deck. And then while it's in the graveyard, you can either Quick Synchro or Quick Exceed by banishing this card from the graveyard. Enchantress of Avalon Morgan. What she does is, as long as you have a Noble Knight monster equipped with a Noble Arms card, you can discard it from your hand to negate a activation of a card or effect. You also have to destroy the Noble Arms card when you do that, I believe. But it doesn't destroy it until after Morgan negates the effect. No. That's a lie. I'm sorry. I was mistaken. 2 Boars. This is one of the combo pieces for the bigger combo that requires 2 equips. So if you draw it, you can't use it. 2 of it. 3 Brothers, this is like the star card of the deck. This card gives you all of your late game and mid game advantage. It lets you put everything back in your deck, keep your ball rolling, so that you don't run out of card. And this card is not a hard once per turn, which means that if you control 2 Brothers, you can shuffle back 6 cards and draw 2 cards, which is really, really cool. Custom, it's kind of like a Kage Tokage for Noble Knights. As long as you control, now there's 2 in the deck. As long as you control a Noble Arms Equip card, you can special summon this card from your hand, but you can only do that once per turn this way. And if it's used for a Link or Exceed summon, a Link, Exceed, or Synchro summon, but there's no Synchro Axis in this version, you can get an additional normal summon of a Noble Knight monster. Pretty cool. Then we have 1 Dristan, we have 1 Ektar, which you're always going to search off of your Assault as long as you don't draw it. 2 Gawain, so as long as you have a normal monster on the field, what's going to happen is you can special summon Gawain from your hand because you control a light normal monster, that being a Boars before you're equipped, a Madrot before you're equipped, and the token off of Iwain. So let's get into Iwain. This is the actual star card of the TCG version, which we don't use in the decks in Duel Links at all. What this card does is if you control it a noble, if a Noble Arms is equipped to this card, you can special summon 1 Noble Knight token, light level 4 warrior, 1000 attack, 1000 defense, but you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Noble Knight monsters. That's irrelevant. This deck is going to be going to its Noble Knight cards all the time. That's kind of the purpose. And then if it stays on the field and it's equipped with Noble Arms equipped, all your Noble Knight monsters gain 500 attack, which is just a really cool advantage push, including himself. So if he summoned an attack, is it all other? All other, yeah. So he doesn't go up to 22. That would be pretty busted. On 22 and the token, wow. Madrot, this is Summon Monk for the deck. If it's the only card on the field, you get to destroy one of your Noble Arms equips and summon a monster, then destroy an equip, is what I should say. Boars is like a Powerful Dragon. You reveal 3 Noble Arms cards from your deck, and then you add one. Your opponent randomly adds 1 to your hand. The other 2 go to the graveyard. And then Pelennor, just another disruption piece. If you control a Noble Arms equipped it to this card, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy the equipped and this card. I'm sorry, and the monster that you targeted, and draw 1 card. Dristan does essentially the same thing, except with any face-up card, and you don't get a draw. And you also don't have to destroy your equipped, but these 2 in tandem together are actually really good because you can have Pelennor on the field, and then special summon off of until Noble Arms needed once again. We'll explain that here in a second. The Dristan, pop a card with your Pelennor. Then the equipped will re-equip to Dristan, popping another card, and you got to draw. So it's essentially like amazing. It's amazing tempo. 2 Glory of the Noble Knights, which essentially is just a hidden armory that doesn't allow you to lose your normal summon. So you get to target 1 Noble Knight monster you control and one equipped spell from your deck to that target. Any equipped spell does not have to be a Noble Arms, which is really cool. But this deck is playing all Noble. 3 Heritage of the Chalice, which is essentially a Rhoda, which is reinforcement of the army for either a Noble Knight monster or a Noble Arms card from your deck or your graveyard. And if a Noble Knight is destroyed and sent to the battle by graveyard, while it had a Noble Arms equip spell equipped to it, you can add this card back to your hand. You can only use each each of it once per turn, I believe. And then Arfidator lets you pop aggro. Caliburn lets you gain life points, which is just pretty cool. And they're swords in the rock, so they do a re-equipped. Clarent, this card, if you pay 500 life points, this card's not in Duel Links, thank goodness, because this card's actually crazy. You can pay 500 life points, only equipped to a warrior monster. You can only control 1 of it, just like every other Noble Arms card. You can pay 500 life points, and the monster that this card is equipped with can attack directly. That's way too powerful. Maybe not in the TCG, but in Duel Links, that would be insane, right? And I think that's Madrot's sword, I guess, because that's what he's holding. Yeah, Clarent is Madrot's sword. Cool. That's some of the lore right there. And then here is Excalibur, which, boom, Gwynethar is making. So Excalibur, we also don't have that in the Duel Links. It cannot be targeted. It cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects during your turn, except during the turn this card was sent to the graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Noble Knight monster, Noble Knight Exceed you control, special summon a different Noble Knight Exceed using that card as material. And the materials attached to it become attached to that material, and it is treated as an Exceed. So you can take a Noble King and turn it into a Custom. You can take a Custom and turn it into a regular King. You can take a regular King and turn it into either one of the other 2, which is really cool. Gallatin, 1000 attack, re-equips if it dies. Destiny cannot be destroyed by valid card effects once per turn. Re-equips and it dies. Same thing. Now this card right here is super duper busted. It's some of the best artwork too. You activate the top cards of your deck equal to the number of noble arms equips you control, and you add one of those cards to your hand. Place the remaining cards back on the top of your deck in any order. So you actually get to choose the order. In Duel Links, this never happens because you can't have this card on the field and 3 equips, but in this you can. So you can actually stack your next draw, which is really, really cool. And then while it's in the graveyard, you get to banish it from the graveyard except during the turn it was sent there to special summon any Noble Knight monster with a different name from cards you control or in the graveyard. And that's where Brothers comes into play, is you don't want to leave a card in the graveyard that you want to be able to summon. So if you have a multiple of something that you want to summon, you want to shuffle it back. You want to shuffle one of them back into the deck with Brothers so that you're not restricted from summoning it. The extra deck, pretty stock. The only cards we really need to talk about is Sold. If you're not familiar with the TCG, if you're a Duel Links player, right? This card is Link Summoned because you guys don't have links in Duel. You can add one more war monster from your deck to your hand, but for the rest of the turn, that you cannot normal set or special summon cards with that name, nor activate their monster effects, which means you can't summon the Ectar that turn. But it's fine. This is like a late game push. It just allows you to get another monster on board. It's kind of like a Dragon Roller in a sense where you have to banish 2 Noble Knights from your graveyard to special summon this card from your hand to your graveyard, and then it special summons it up, which is really, really cool. So you're going to get this off of a Sold every time you can. So essentially a Sold will always be a +1. A Sold uses 2 monsters to make. You summon this, that's a -1. You get your card back, it's a neutral. Then you activate the effect of a Sold. Let's go ahead and get into that, which is really, really cool. It almost makes boars obsolete, kind of. You can send any number of equipped spells with different names to the graveyard. Special summon 1 warrior monster from your deck whose level is equal to the number of cards sent to the graveyard. You can only activate each effect of the Sold. 2 Tales of the Noble Knights once per turn. So essentially, you get to special summon a monster in the deck and send equips to the graveyard. So if you're sending, I don't know, say you're trying to summon the level 5, say you want to immediately go into the Noble King, you would have a Madrat on the field, you would send 5, summon the Ectar instead of adding it to your hand. Oh, what the hell? Summon the Ectar instead of adding it to your hand, overlay those 2 for your Sacred King, and then bring back as many equips as you would like. In the TCG, you're going to be using this card until Noble Arms need it once again to dig for your Morgris Enchantress of Avalon so you can negate something during your opponent's turn, along with any other hand traps that do exist in the format, because in the TCG, there isn't just like DD Crow and Sphere Karibo, and I think Skullmeister. There's cards like Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, which stops your opponent from, adding cards from the deck to their hand, special summoning cards from the deck, and then there's Ghost Ogre, which is kind of like Effect Veiler, and then there's DD Crow, of course, still too. So I think that this deck is really, really cool. I know it's not meta by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a really fun deck to play around with, especially if it goes first. Same thing with Duel Links. If it goes first in the TCG, this deck can catch a lot of people off guard, especially if you're playing a more meta variant where you're playing hand traps to dig for off of until Noble Arms need it once again, and to draw off of Brothers. You can get so many draws and searches in this deck. It's really, really cool. This is just what I play in Duel Links, so I just wanted to see how it translated to the TCG. I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much. Hope you have a wonderful day, and peace out, YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe. Comment what other decks you want to see me try to make from Duel Links and put like a TCG spin on them. Of course, this is probably a really stock list, so the next one, if you guys want a more competitive version, I can do that. Just let me know. I'll see you guys later. Peace out, YouTube.